Here's how I made this video.
Yo, yeah, oh.
To begin, me and one of my friends found a room that had really similar lighting to the environment that I was planning on placing him in. It's key that the lighting in the original video matches the environment the best it can, so then when you apply visual effects to it all, it feels natural. Once we found a room that was fit for our circumstances, me and my friend Owen filmed our little dance. We use this software called Camtrack AR, which lets us record and capture our camera's movement. Then, out of pure exhaustion, I decided to use one of my hyper-realistic scenes I used for one of my found footages on YouTube. Now that we had the setting for the video, I had to cut out my friend from the background so then we could place him in the scene. This step is called Rotoscoping, and depending on the video, can take a really long time. Now that we have an environment with lighting and a cutout of my friend, it's time for animation. Now, unless you know visual effects, you'd wonder, why would you need animation? Great question, you get your gold star for the day. The reason we need animation is because we need shadows. Shadows are literally the glue that make this video look natural. Now, you may have noticed a weird little figure standing in the background of the first clip. That was my shadow caster. Blender has a feature where you can mark an object to only cast its shadow, while leaving the rest of it invisible. I used this object to stand in as the shadow for my friend Owen. Okay, now stop laughing. I know the animation looks horrible from this view, but you didn't even notice that it looked like this in the shadow. So, aren't you to blame? The animation itself took about 3 to 4 days to fully put together and to make it match with the footage. That means for 3 to 4 days of my life, I spent about 5 or 6 hours just tweaking and re-rendering this little stupid animation. Once the animation was done, I set up my computer to render overnight. This scene is pretty hefty for my computer to render, so when I plan these, I make sure that I have school the next day so I can let it render during then. The rendering process usually results in a couple hundred EXR files, which can be used for compositing later on. I use a custom EXR version, which lets me store multiple layers inside the EXR file. Next, I load all my footage into After Effects. After Effects is the main software where all the compositing happens. First, we load in our footage with some coloring effects. We have Lumetri color right here, which makes it a little less bright, and then we have VR glow to add some bloom to the background. Then we finally add our guy. He has coloring effects on him too, like Lumetri color, toner, curves, and hue and saturation, which change him from looking like this to looking a bit more blended in with the colors of the background. Then we get some edge light. The edge light's not too visible, but if we hide everything but it, you can see that there's this nice little halo around it, which is created by taking our cutout person and subtracting its alpha from the background and creating this mask. And then from there, in our composite, we're taking this, applying a simple choker, and then a fast box blur. We're also taking our cutout and we're applying a track matte to it, so then it's only working in this area. If we didn't have this track matte, then it would just be the full image. Then that's added on top. And then this is the matte. So we end up with a final image looking like this, which I think looks pretty good. So that's how I made that video. Wait a minute. I feel like I'm forgetting something. The reveal effect consisted of 6 passes. We have the shadow pass, we have a depth map, which was used to make the effect. We have a material preview, we have the solid preview, we have the wireframe preview, and we have the original video. Let's go to a bit of a better frame. So, we have the depth effect. It looks like this. And this is basically what controls the distance of things in the scene. So, I just ran it through a lot of math, which got us a slice once the time came, which it seems like it was right here. So, here's the little slice. What we do is, based on this little slice, we'd mix a certain version with another version, and you'd get this. And you do that with every single one. So here's a different slice. That one got mixed with, let's see, the solid preview. So now that's the solid preview. This one got mixed with the wireframe. So find the wireframe, there it is. That one's now the wireframe. This one is the original video. This is the slice that controlled it, and it got mixed right there. Then I just took the little dance cutout that I already had, and I just added it on top. No compositing for this one, even though I probably should have. But it ends up being somewhat performant when rendering, and I think it looks pretty cool when you render it all out.